How did Balochistan become a part of the British Empire? Is a question often asked by those interested in the region's history. So the British first came into contact with Balochistan through the Khanate of Kalat in 1839, but the story goes much beyond. In 1817, Mir Nuri Nasir Khan's grandson Mir Mehrab Khan II was crowned the Khan of Kalat. Mehrab was a very paranoid ruler who did not trust many of the Sardars around him. To secure himself, he decided to imprison or execute anyone he feared might revolt against him. One of the people he killed was Fateh Muhammad, the father of Mullah Muhammad Hassan, who worked in his court. To cut a long story short, in those days, the British and Russian empires were competing over influence in Central Asia. Russia had a great deal of the region, and now Britain wanted to secure its domains in South Asia and counter the Russians by installing a friendly ruler in Afghanistan. Dost Muhammad Khan Barakzai was the Emir of Afghanistan in those days, and he had come into power after deposing the last ruler from the previous Durrani dynasty. But there was a pretender to the Afghan throne as well, and he was a member of the former Durrani dynasty named Shah Shuja Durrani. The British plan was to install Shuja on the throne of Afghanistan, and in return he would not only protect their domains in South Asia but also keep the Russians out. But then, to do this, the British needed access to Afghanistan's capital Kandahar, which was located very close to Mehrab's kingdom. So the British sent a message to Mehrab asking him whether he would allow them to cross the territory on the march to Afghanistan or not. So Mehrab signed the pact with the British that they could safely cross the Bolan Pass and move towards Kandahar. But at the same time, Mullah Hassan thought this is the best time for revenge. Mehrab sent Hassan as his envoy to meet British Lieutenant Leach. Leach was coming to meet Mehrab, but Hassan spoke ill of Mehrab, so Leach turned back and the meeting never occurred. Furthermore, Hassan was secretly using Mehrab's seal on fake documents that were basically ordering Baloch tribes in the Bolan Pass to attack the British troops once they passed through and to boycott British traders. Worse was yet to come. The British envoy to Mehrab Khan, Captain Sir Alexander Burnes, was also robbed by Hassan's men, and it is said that he was carrying a copy of the agreement he had signed with Mehrab. Now the British started suspecting Mehrab of trying to play a double game with them, and they thought he might be supporting Dost Muhammad Khan behind the scenes. And the attack on British troops in Bolan Pass had just made the situation way worse, because the tribes thought the Khan had ordered this, but in reality he didn't order it. So the British now decided it was time to mount a revenge attack against Kalat so they could punish Mehrab for his apparent treachery. They sent him an ultimatum which he rejected and chose to fight instead. But you have to understand that from Mehrab's perspective, it was the British who had committed treachery, not him. In 1839, General Thomas Wiltshire and his brigade attacked Kalat while returning from Afghanistan. On 13 November, the fortress fell and 600 Baloch, including Mehrab himself, were slain, while his son Mir Hassan Khan managed to escape. The British then discovered documents in the fortress which proved Mullah Hassan's treachery, and so they had him arrested. They installed a descendant of Muhammad Khan named Shah Nawaz Khan on the throne of Kalat, but just a year later he would be deposed and Mehrab's son Hassan would be crowned as Mir Nasir Khan II. Mir Nasir Khan II died in 1857, allegedly from poisoning. He was succeeded by his brother Khudadad Khan, but in 1863 there was a rebellion against Khudadad and he had to retire to Kachi. His cousin Sherdil Khan was installed as the ruler of Kalat, but then the next year in May his own guards murdered him and Khudadad came back from retirement, ruling all the way to his death in 1893. However, around this time, the British also tricked the Khans of Kalat into signing agreements, and you can still see the text of at least some of these agreements in archives available online. The three most significant agreements were the treaties, namely those of Mastong, Kalat, and Jacobabad, and these treaties have been nicknamed the Baloch Magna Carta, and that's not for no reason. The Khans signed these treaties in exchange of money from the British Empire, and the treaties basically reduced the Khan to a powerless ceremonial figure. The British installed an agent in Kalat who was now the referee in disputes between Sardars. Previously, the Khan would do this, but no more. And now the British also installed a British garrison in Quetta, which was also known as Shal. Furthermore, these treaties also protected the British interests in Balochistan. For example, the telegram line and the railway line that connected Balochistan with British-occupied Sindh. In terms of territory, in 1877, the British established the Balochistan Agency just 1 year after the Treaty of Jacobabad, and it consisted of 4 princely states that had been there before the British came, namely Kharan, Lasbela, Makran, and Kalat. And the area that was under direct British control was known as the Balochistan Chief Commissioner's Province. And most of these lands were leased from the Khan by the British. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, then please consider subscribing. It's free and helps out a great deal. Thank you for watching.